So for those that don't know, Oprah was getting her award at the Cannes Film Festival, and for some strange reason, she brought up this story about Whitney Houston and the time that she came out on her show on drugs when she was supposed to be clean and had such a difficult time walking out on stage because she was so high that she fell. Now, the strangest thing about this is Oprah and Whitney were supposed to be friends that had love for each other, right? In addition to the fact that it's so bizarre that you would call your friend out like that, if you wouldn't talk about it while she was still alive, why would you talk about it now? What is it, 17 years later? This supposedly happened in 2009, and this has nothing to do with anything. Oprah, why are you bringing this up when you're supposed to be the person being honored? Okay? It had nothing to do with anything. And come to find out, people came out talking about this and saying that that's not even what happened.
Ray, you were there the day that Whitney Houston fell off the stage during the sound check at Oprah's show. Take us back to that day. What happened?
She was coming toward the front of the stage, and it's a drop off, and it's sort of like a dark spot there. So when she got to the edge, I think somebody told her, "Watch, be careful, watch it." And then she went down. But so we got to her, but she got a matter of fact, she made fun about it,
What did she say when she was making fun about it?
She was just laughing. She said, "I didn't see that." She said, "I didn't even see that." I said, "That's obvious. You didn't see it."
Oprah had suggested that she had relapsed and the fall was due to her being high. Do you think that was the case?
No, I think the case was she didn't really know that stage. And when she walked out there, she stepped off of it, stepped off the end onto the next level. That was the case. I don't know. I guess I would did the same thing if I didn't, because it's sort of dark.
The reason that Whitney fell was because she was walking down a hallway that was poorly lit and couldn't see where she was going. It had nothing to do with drugs. So why, Oprah, why are you lying to people and bringing up this story out of nowhere that has nothing to do with anything? People who know Oprah and who have watched Oprah over the years, they understand pretty clearly. This is nothing new for Oprah.
I had such trust from the Oprah show audience that Whitney did, I think it was her last show with us, and she had gone back on drugs. The first interview I did with her when we'd gone behind stage and I asked her about her intention, she was clean. But the day she came to my show then to perform in front of the audience, she was not. And she fell off of the stage. And I knew that if that story got out that she'd fallen off of the stage, that she would be destroyed by that. And so even though the audience was there and the audience had cameras, I begged them not to put those pictures out because it would ruin her life, and they did not.
And what about...
That would not happen today, I can tell you.
Monique been telling you about how much of a piece of Oprah is for the last 10 years. You understand what I'm saying? I tend to think she's spot on. You can throw Tyler Perry in there too. She's right about both of them. These people are Sambos. They're gatekeepers. Anytime white society has a black person that they want to throw under the bus, she gets that call. Now, this is right after Clive Davis just croaked. You understand what I'm saying? May he rest in peace. And it's my conjecture that she got the call to get all the energy and attention off of Clive Davis because she knew people were going to start talking about how much of a piece of trash he was and how he screwed people over during his tenure in the industry. You understand? That's what it looks like. That's what the streets are saying anyway. And I'm not surprised at all. This is what Oprah does. Oprah has been a mammy, a buck dancing Sambo, a sellout. You understand? This is what she does to black society. At the end of the day, everybody's got a story about how Oprah pissed on their shoes. Look at what she tried to do to Michael Jackson. Look at what she tried to do to Russell Simmons. She is the contact person. Whenever they want to throw a black person under the bus, they go get Oprah's little musty, bad wig wearing ass.
What's the one question you would like to ask me that no one has asked me?
That's an even better one. Now, how you gonna hit me back with
Because I don't know the questions. I don't know what you want an answer to.
What is a secret conversation you have had on the side with somebody in the industry that you have never told, but it will make an impact on the industry? It was shake a table.
Oh my goodness.
That's a good question.
Baby, if I tell you who I had the secret conversation with, it's gonna shake the table.
Yeah, you asked me. You asked me what I want. I would love to know.
Jesse Jackson.
Okay.
That's it.
What?
Shake the table. Shake the table. Because our brother's no longer with us.
Yeah.
And it would be unfair. So you gotta play fair. Because I will not speak of a person about any conversation, about any incidents, about anything that they cannot say yes or no to. Because when you do that, that becomes unfair to the baby. Because they don't have they can't say, well, yes, that happened or that didn't happen.
It takes Monique to really talk about Oprah. One false move, Monique is on that ass every time. Shout out to Monique for this one, because we needed this. There's no reason for you to be bringing up what a dead person said in a conversation that has nothing to do with said person. And I'm so glad Monique called her out on this. We needed this. Shout out to Monique for this one. Let's continue.
But I'll just say, you know, brother Jesse Jackson. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was just brother Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, Oprah actually recently talked about Whitney Houston in an interview. Oh, that's why you said, okay, well, there's that. She said that Whitney, you know, kind of passed out and might have alluded to maybe.
Didn't Oprah fall on stage?
Wellness to me means all things in balance. And balance doesn't mean all things are equal or at peace at all times. Wrong shoes.
I don't know, I ain't seen it.
And we didn't see we didn't see how she tripped, nothing. She just went down. We saw that. We saw her. She was walking and bam. And everybody was like, well, she said the shoes. Okay. Well, what was wrong? So, and as we're laughing about it and making light of it, just for me, how do you speak about someone that can't defend it? That, just in my humble opinion, it takes it different. Because that woman can't say yes or no. And now you just want everybody to take your word because you're the great Oprah Winfrey. And you just take my word that that's what happened. That, I believe, is unfair.
Shout out to Monique for this one. She on that ass. She lighting that ass up. This is what I'm talking about. Talking greasy. And what trips me out and creeps me out at the same time, Oprah, is that it seems that every rape, pedophile, and human known to man, you thick as thieves with him. You Trump tight with him, pun intended. You know everything about him. You up under Weinstein, you up under Epstein, here a Steen, there a Steen, everywhere a Steen. John of God was your spiritual advisor. He done over 300 women. Your father had a case and it just went away. What happened to that? Because it seems to me, Oprah, you got a lot to talk about, but you don't want to speak on things that people really want to know about your musty ass. Brazilian spiritual healer spotlighted by Oprah to stand on trial for abuse charges. Oprah's close friend sentenced to 12 years for child crimes. Oprah's South Africa school plagued by seconds scandal. And what about her father, Vernon Winfrey's sexual misconduct case that nobody ever talks about? You just talking. No, we want to know about those things that have to do with you, Oprah. Since you want to talk so much, why don't you talk about that? Whitney Houston being on drugs is a very boring topic compared to all that you got going on and all these files that you got swirling around you all the time. You buddy in pictures with all of them. And what about those girls in Africa and all those that went down? Did you ever get justice for them? How did they even get put in that situation? Oprah, it was your school. That's the stories that I want to hear. Those are the stories that I want to hear. So Oprah, if you're going to talk, then talk. Don't half-ass it. Say something, because there are people who need justice. The victims need justice. The victims that were around you and people you know, those people need justice. So unless you go talk about that, you can shut your musty ass up. You can go sit your fat steak 12 sandwich eating ass down somewhere and shut the fuck up about Whitney Houston, who is someone that we love, who is someone that we revere, and someone who wasn't friends with a whole bunch of pedophiles and rapists like yourself. Oh my God!
Those are Oprah friends, remember? She's never once said anything about them. She has never mentioned their names in a negative way. She's never covered any of their scandals. She has never spoken on them. Oprah is not a friend of Black society. I don't care how dark she is.
If you really want to give us some explosive news, Oprah, tell us about all the female victims that are somehow always around you. It's a new day in Black society. We've kind of figured out who all the are. You understand? So now that we've identified you, Oprah, we don't really have no use for you. We don't want you around us like that. You can't be in our circles like that. You understand? You come out and you do all this babbling, but you haven't really done anything for the community. You understand what I'm saying? And so you're kind of worthless. You're kind of useless. And Monique was right to call your out because you do some real sellout things to the community. You understand where I'm coming from? And we've just grown weary of it. We've seen too much of it. And quite frankly, you've been at the crux of a lot of it, Oprah, as I've explained earlier in this video. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's just how I feel on it. You know, Oprah has no standing in the Black community to come around talking about our cultural icons, Black people. You understand? Like she dogged our sister Whitney out today. Oreo-ass pseudo-Negroes that have no standing in Black society need to keep our heroes' names out their mouth. That's how I feel. I'll park the Chevy on that. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. Major Gauge Podcast, we lit. All right? Major Gauge Podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe.